All right, usually my videos are just for students to help teach them to learn, but this is also a great video if you are a teacher. This is a great game to play with your students when you first introduce them to factoring. Okay, so for the students out there, let me show you how to do this. This is the X game. I like to play the X game for an entry test right before I give my very first lesson on factoring, and this is how it works. You draw an X, okay? These are three separate problems. Problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. What we're trying to do is find two numbers, a number here and a number there, that when added together, we're gonna get 9. But when we multiply them together, we get 18. Same idea over here, two numbers that when multiplied together, when we add together, we get negative 12. So if we're gonna get a negative 12, one of them is gonna have to at least be a negative. But think about how we would get a positive result through multiplication. If one of these is negative, that also has to be negative in order to get a positive product. Over here, we've got something plus something to make negative 3, and that same something times that same something makes a negative 10. Well, if you're gonna get a negative result as a product, when you multiply two values together, only one of them should be negative. So we know one of these is negative, one of these is positive. All right, let's start with the easiest one. Everything's positive, life is good. Two numbers that when added together make 9. You could just start to throw some things in there. 1 times 8 does not make 18. So that does not work. Once you find it, 6 and 3, or 3 and 6, okay? 6 plus 3 makes 9. 6 times 3 makes 18. Life is good. You have completed your first round of the X Games. We call you Sean White. All right, something plus something makes negative 12, but when multiplied together, we get positive 27. So right away, the first thing I'm thinking is both are negative. A negative times a negative makes a positive, and they have to both be negative to add together to get negative. So two numbers that multiply together to make 27. There's not very many possibilities there, so let's go with the most obvious, 9 and 3. Negative 9 times negative 3 would make positive 27. Negative 9 plus negative 3 would make negative 12. Check. So we have finished our first two rounds, and we're on to the third and final round, where we need to add two numbers together and get a negative. But when we multiply these two numbers together, we get a negative as well. That means only one of these is negative, the other is positive. Okay, so 10, you could say negative 10 times 1. Works? Doesn't work. Keep trying. What else can you multiply together and make 10? Negative 5 times 2. Works there. Negative 5 plus 2 makes negative 3. Checks. Now here's one thing I want you to keep in mind. I will have kids that will do this. They will say negative 2 times 5. And yes, that makes negative 10. But negative 2 plus 5 would make a positive 3. So make sure you have the negative on the right value. In this case, it needs to be on the 5. The 2 is the value that needs to be the positive. This is the X game. It's a great introduction to factoring. Great game to play with your kids. You can make worksheets off of it. You can have them write their own out. That's always a good adjustment that I make to it. Hey, see if you can make your own X game and then give it to a peer. All right, so great game for you to play. Try it out in your own classrooms. Leave me a message. Let me know how that goes if you do try it. And study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.